Is that you? I like you. Okay.
We missed you.
Oh, I also miss Toastmasters. Okay. So as president of Metro Manila Toastmaster Club, I now call this meeting to open. Okay. May I invite everyone to please stand up for invocation with the class. Alex. Chico.
Let's put us ourselves in the Holy Presence of God. In the name of the Father. Lord, thank you for bringing us safely here. And Lord, please bless the speakers who will share tonight. This we ask through Jesus Christ. Amen.
Yeah, let's do some small introduction about yourself and how you came to know about Toastmaster.
Yeah.
He's happy.
Yeah, that's also a good way of introduction. Or maybe you could tell something about what's special about your father or being a father. You start, Freddy?
Well, about my father, he told me that if things will happen, it's bound to happen. That's the reason why I have not ridden an airplane for so long. Why? Sabi kasi pag oras mo na, di ba? Kaya sabi ko, kung oras na ng piloto.
Dapat ikaw dito.
About my father.
And introduce yourself.
Hola. Hola. John. Well, my father's like a big role model for us. And for me, because if not, wasn't for him, we're not here. And yeah, I love my father.
Next, please.
Hi, I'm Alex. We have the same father. Told you a while ago. Our father taught us about like what John Cena taught us also.
Oh.
Hustle, respect, and loyalty.
Wow.
And integrity.
My father,
And don't be afraid to commit mistakes, because those are the first things that we will forget. Now, Toastmasters Club is a self-development club. We focus on ourselves, on how we could become a better person. Unlike other clubs, Rotary, Lions, JCs, and other things, they focus on outside, on making medical missions, dental missions. Here we focus on ourselves, on us becoming a better person. It's like saying, charity begins at home. Before we go out, work on ourselves first. Now, our club, Metro Manila Toastmasters Club, is a part of a much, much bigger organization in the United States, in California, USA, called Toastmasters International. So, if you're a member of one club, like this club, for very reasonable fee, you can just enter, walk in on any of the clubs around the world, from Japan to Australia to England to Europe. And you'll receive the same warm, friendly welcome that we give to our members. Now, Toastmasters is a learning club. We learn by doing. Like, for example, if I teach you how to become a good MC or a Toastmaster of the evening, like what I'm doing right now, no, we get that opportunity to become the Toastmaster of the evening. So you'll feel how it is to be the MC. Now, talking about being an MC, I'll give you some tips, no? Because one day you'll be called to become an MC or a Toastmaster of the evening. So if you are an MC or a Toastmaster of the evening, it's like food. No? It's giving a, what do you call that food before we order the main menu? Appetizer. You will give an appetizer on the person that you will introduce, on his credibility, on his specialty. So you make that person look interesting to the audience. So that is the purpose of if you are the Toastmaster. So you will make a person look good and feel good. That when he comes here in front, wow, ganado siya dahil ang ganda ng send-off ko sa kanya. Now, as MC, let us always be positive in our words. It is always a put up, not a put down. So, for example, if Toots were here, for example, I would say, here is a man who has accomplished himself much in life. In business, in travel, in singing, in sports, and in public speaking. In fact, he has been a quartet-long speech champion. And he's a person who does not know the meaning of nervousness. He does not know the meaning of frustration. He does not know the meaning of fear. Sabay sabi ng and there are many other things. And there are many other things that he does not know the meaning of. So, ganun na pag-introduce natin, we make it the person look interesting. And in introducing the different segments, instead of saying it in Toastmaster, we don't say, and the next number of the program is, masyadong elementary yan. So, we say something about the first part by way of continuing it to the second part. From extemporaneous speaking, we now go on to impromptu speaking. Now, here in Toastmasters, we talk about all the needs of a public speaker. Like for instance, humor. We teach you how to become humorous here in front, how to time your punchlines. Before, when I was still new in Toastmasters, I don't buy these joke books in National Bookstore. But after I joined Toastmasters, yeah, I started buying joke books. Then choose the joke, because not all jokes, a joke may be okay to you, but it may not be okay to you. So choose your own joke that would fit your style. And then memorize it, adapt it to your ways. And before you know it, yeah, you're a humorous person. You become a likable person. And when you become a likable person, even though when you go, people will like you. Your nurse, your patient will like you. If you're a salesman, your customer will like you. Why? Because you're a likable person. Maganda ang aura mo, ang dating mo. Your words, especially our words, we become very tactful in our words. I define tact is the art. Tact, T-A-C-T, no? Tact is the art of making a point without making an enemy. Like for instance, one time, before going to sleep, my wife said, I look awful with my blemishes, with my eye bags, and my double chin. Could you say something positive before we go to sleep? And I said, honey, your eyesight is perfect. So that's the way we make that. She's happy when you guys. So that's an art that we try to practice here in Toastmasters. Because here, we do not embarrass people. We don't put people to shame. Instead, we build them up like that. We say, that's normal, especially if you're a beginner. What happened to you, a little mental block. That is a sign of nervousness. Every one of us passes that. But as you go on, lumuluwang na yan. So ideas, when it comes to you, it goes up to you. So, as a person, if you can see the smiling faces of all the members here, you can easily gain that much needed self-confidence. Now we go on to our prepared speeches, extemporaneous speaking. It is so that speeches, Carla, you notice, here speeches are like babies. So, how is it compared, no? Speeches and babies. Both are easy to conceive, but hard to deliver. But here at Metro Manila Toastmasters Club, you will notice how our speakers here deliver their speeches as if delivering their 10th child. So easy, so natural, so effortless. Why? Because you're telling something from your heart. You want to share something to the members. So,
You guys accepting me?
yes,
Of course.
Yes.
Oh, I'm just really an observer.
Oh, sure.
No problem.
This is our president. Hi. Your name?
Mark.
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 Oh.
Ah.
Sir. I'm very curious to
Yeah, oh, you're welcome. They're also.
Marty. That's M-A-R-T-I.
Marty.
Marty. How did you find this club?
I'm a frequenter of this place, and I always see the little sticker.
Oh, you saw the sign.
Yes.
Okay.
The sign works.
You see the Ten Commandments sign there.
You're from BNB?
Yes, just there in Pearl Drive, in San Nicolas.
Right.
Yeah, just there.
So, just enjoy the meeting and tell it to your friends if you like
Yeah,
it.
they're actually very curious too. Still have the time right now.
Okay.
Actually, this is about public speaking, how to become a better person through better communications. So, it's like success. Here, our formula for success is preparation plus opportunity equals success. So, opportunity is just all around us, but if we are not prepared, no success. So here, that is our focus, how to prepare ourselves in speaking, in thinking, and in listening. So we are here for better listening, better thinking, and better speaking. So anyway, self-confidence is not acquired overnight. It takes a little time. So just come here, just say your piece, and in due time. Every one of us started as a very nervous person. And you will notice that as we progress, we have fun. So that's here, it's a night of fun, friendship, and fortune. Fortune, when I say fortune, you become successful. The honor business is in Japan. So some of us are really promoted to managers, like that. Some, they had only one branch of business before, now they have 2 or 3 branches. So what success do we need more in life? Now we have our first prepared speaker for tonight. She will deliver a speech project number 5. Now when you join Carla in Toastmasters, you are immediately called Toastmaster Carla. Then you deliver 10 speeches.
You like to sit in front?
Then you deliver 10 speeches. Then after 10 speeches, you will now be called Competent Communicator. So, our speaker for tonight is on her 5th speech. She'll be delivering the title of her speech is a French word. Harp Guian. For saying, seize the day. Seize the day. And it has something to do with her body speaks, her body language, gestures. And she will be evaluated by Toastmaster Glenda.
Yes.
She'll be evaluating for the first time. Here, everything is always for the first time. Tonight, you had your first time as an invocation here. It's the first time to everything. Just like love at first sight. I felt for a love at first sight to one of my girlfriends before. The trouble is she made a second sight. So, let's give a big round of applause for Toastmaster Tin.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Greetings.
Content organization delivery.
Sige. Send also.
Kasi tayo dito, iba-iba ang ano natin, progress natin sa past.
Gusto mo ba natin po yun?
Oh, lakas daw. Lakas daw pare. Isa ka.
Greetings. 1 year, 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, 86,440 seconds. Those are figures that where you can measure a day or days of your life. Good evening, Toastmasters.
Good evening.
Sige.
Parang may political stuff.
Most people say that time does fly. You barely notice it, then as time goes by, we probably, in the government, we probably have a newly elected president. In mobile and tech, we could probably have the newest cell phone or even the tablet launched for the year. For the economy, probably the gasoline prices have tripled. And as for the calendar, probably you are not in the calendar. Your age is not in the calendar anymore.
Sa loto.
Yes. Loto yan. Anyway, we've hardly noticed, as we hardly do not notice time, as we hardly do not notice the this changes of time, we tend to go on to into reliving moments. What are these moments? Small moments such as life-changing events, they could be special, they could be traumatic, they could be life-altering, or probably something as simple as a very simple conversation at random. They could be like something such as your first day at school, your first quarrel at the classroom with your classmate, could be the first kiss that you've experienced with
Hindi ko alam yun.
or an awkward moment, your very, very, very first awkward moment with opposite sex, or an accident that you've encountered when you were young, or probably an incident where you almost died. Yeah, that's romantic. These moments have great impact with oneself, that it conjures your feelings. It could make you happy, it could make you sad. You get this roller coaster ride of emotions in you, that if a certain incident does trigger sometimes it becomes your safe place where you relive it in your memory, that as if it was forever in your mind. Now, if you like backlog on, if you think about it, sometimes you would relive these moments and wonder why didn't it last, or why didn't it last, or why it stopped or something. These moments are the would have, should have, and could have. This is where you start questioning, what if I were to change, or if my life would be like this, if I changed careers, would it be still the same? Now, sometimes you do not know, you're unaware that reliving, as if once you've started reliving the past, there would be moments as if you've forgotten you've taken for granted what could have been missed opportunities that you've neglected. As if also you held on to these moments as if you had this fear of letting it go. Most of these decisions, values, and even prejudices, though come from past experiences, but reliving such incidents which you state that that was you, which was you were, now today you are, and probably in your mindset someone you could become because of these experiences. These experiences could have served its purpose, but in the long run, I think we could try to let these thoughts or feelings go. We can set it as an example, say for instance as a room. You fill them with things that are important to you, such as books, awards, trophies, letters, even your first tooth that fell off your mouth. But as they pile up, and your room becomes a total, no more space, it's very cramped and you don't have any space anymore left. We can actually clear it up and take some things out. For instance, we can compare that room to our hearts. We make room for our hearts to discover new things, experience more in life, and to create new stories in your life, create new chapters. So I asked you a question regarding on how you've dealt with these. If you have this ongoing situation as such, ask yourself, when was the last time you did your first? May it be something like when was the first time I took a long hike or climbed up the mountain or went surfing for the very first time. Something that you've always wanted to do. Now, wouldn't it be wonderful to have more to clear up, or let's say declutter and find more space and discover more things? That'd be great one though. Now we go back to learning new experiences, creating new chapters in your life. Remember, we still have plenty of time though. 1 year, 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, and 86,400 seconds to spare to enjoy life. Now, I leave you with a quote. It's got for them, which means seize the day. Make your lives extraordinary. Okay, thank you.
Yun lang.
Sige, tabi pa more.
From seize the day, we now come to a shipwreck. It's part of a storytelling manual. After 10 speeches, Tonette has already become a competent individual. Now, he's on to another set of speeches, advanced speeches. So he'll be delivering his speech, advanced speech. The title of the speech is Shipwreck, and he will be evaluated like competent communicator Virtue performance. Let's do the big round of applause.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Freddy. Kaya madali ako. Good evening.
Good evening.
Toastmasters and friends. By the way, I'd like to greet our friends in UCLA Toastmaster Bruins. I shared the link, so some of them are watching. They're watching our YouTube.
Okay.
Thank you very much to Mike that's hosting. And one of them, she's in Hawaii. Yeah. And her name is Priya Cassandra. And she's the most beautiful pregnant woman I've seen. Unfortunately, I'm not the father. So, hi Priya. Good evening, Toastmaster. Good
Good evening.
You can't stop the storm, the wind of the storm, but you can adjust your sail. Same as true, you cannot stop the wave, but you can adjust. By what? By surfing. It's all about adjustment. And you and I are very good about that. It's very natural for human to make a sort of adjustment. My beloved Toastmasters, friends and guests, now we're a Toastmaster of the evening. What if someone intercedes in your life that you don't know? Oh, is that possible? You've been adjusting, but things are happening. It's like a mystery. Is this possible? Is it possible? Yes, it is. They can intercede through a prayer. A prayer is very, very powerful. Imagine that you are a lady and there was a storm. The wind is very strong. And so you and your crew, you have to take care of the ship, not to get sink. But you don't have choice. The ship is collapsing and you have to jump out of the ship. Or else you're going to trap inside the ship that is sinking. Now you were in the water. You have to adjust again on the wave. Later did you know that your strength cannot go through. And so you hope that there will be another ship to rescue you. If this happens once, it is by chance. If this happens twice in a row, it's coincidence. If this happens thrice, well, there must be a jinx in the ship, right? If this happens 4 times, I might kill myself. I'll be paranoid. If this happens 5 times, shipwreck. You would say there must be a reason. There must be a reason. And that is very true to Peter Ridgely. In 1820, Peter Ridgely joined the Australian Navy. He left his family at a very young age. Now he was in this first ship. The name of the ship is Mervyn. As you can see, the names of the ship are days, right? Why? Sinasakyan. Sinasakyan, right? On the ship that they were aboard, there was a storm. And the ship collapsed, reached into the coral reefs. What happened? The ship sank. 21 crew members and 1 captain. They were all on the seawater, surfing, making find way that they have to live. Soon there was a second ship. They rescued them. Days later, the ship got burned all over. They all jumped to the sea and hoping there would be another ship that would rescue them. The 3rd and the 4th ship, still, they rescued them, then there's a shipwreck. I myself, I would say, Lord, just kill me, right? no one likes to live like that, right? But Peter Ridgely had this very feeling that there must be something about it. And the captain of the ship, the first ship that sank, had this strong feeling that there must be. And there was another ship coming from Great Britain, going through Australia. This ship is City of Leeds. That's the name of the ship. There's something special about this. All the 21 crew members and the captain, they were all aboard the ship. They are given clothes, try this all out, and the doctors will give a compulsory examination. Meaning to say they check if the passengers and the crew members were all fit and okay. Now, the doctor said, we have a little problem in this ship, right? There is a lady who were very sick and she's dying. He's shouting for the name of her son. And he is in a delirium, high fever. And if you cannot get someone just to pretend a son, this old lady under the deck will surely die. And so they get someone that gives the exact description of this child, of this woman mentioning. And so they choose Peter richly, coming from the first ship that sank. And so Peter said, okay, I agree. After all, my life has been tested 5 times, so I'm ready to die, whatever happens, and it's just small things that I will do to this old lady. Right? So just all I have to do is just to pretend. Right? Okay, no big deal. And Peter and the doctor, they went under deck, and as the doctor pushed him richly, he saw the old woman lying on the small bed. Later on, Peter started to cry. He saw the reason why he's still alive. The name of the woman is Sarah, richly his mother. Coincidence? I don't think so. 5 times she read. Something that you cannot really connect, but it really happened. The last prayer of the old woman was, I hope I can see my son after I die. He was praying for them. Now, the fever of the woman subsided. He wakes up again. He saw his prayer were answered beside of him with Peter richly. What a great story to tell. It's very inspiring. And it's a true story. You can check it out on the internet. There's documents provided. My beloved Toastmasters, friends and guests, prayers are powerful. You can rewrite the history. God can rewrite your future. He can send the storms, the waves. He can wreck the ship, of course. God can rewrite the history of your life. And there's 2 reasons here that being able to learn. First is, it's never too late for God to answer your prayer. And secondly is, be sensitive. If there is something happening in your life, maybe someone is praying for you, find out who that person is. Well, you and I, my prayers is, I hope that when this happened, we are not bored in a ship or playing with the Toastmasters.
Fellow Toastmasters, friends, Dean earlier talked about time. And Lem talked about prayer. So I put the 2 together and I say, take time to listen. It's the source of wisdom. When you listen, it's a source of wisdom. Take time to pray. It's the source of power. And take time to look at the mirror. It's the source of laughter. So from extemporaneous speaking, meaning to say, Toastmasters who wrote their speeches and deliver it here in front, we now go to impromptu speaking, or speaking without any preparation. Just like the speech that we see in beauty contest. When the beauty contestants are given pieces of paper, like that, and they speak on it for 2 minutes or something. Now here we address also that particular area, impromptu speaking. Now, as a matter of practice, we don't usually call our guests unless our guest volunteers to say something about the topic. Now, here we practice it in such a way that Just imagine it's like a new car that we break it in. So if you have a new car, we don't let it run at once at 100 kilometers per hour. We let it run for 30 or 40. Just like in public speaking, we also have a break-in period too. Because, everyone, all of us, me included, that we are also nervous in some ways. So we try to address this nervousness. We help one another how to become confident in public speaking. Now, just like in cooking, for example, if I tell you, Carla, to cook kare-kare for me, how's that? I don't know how to cook. But if I give you the recipe, and you just read the recipe, it's so easy, it's just like this. The same is true in public speaking. We also have some recipes that if we share it to you, and you say, oh, it's that easy. So, one recipe here that I always advise is the SM method. What is the SM method? It's not Schumann. It is story and message. So, you give your story, then you give your message in the end. Just like when you read a story outside, there's such a thing as, in the end, there is a moral of the lesson. So here in Toastmasters, we also give a little message or an appeal for action in the end. End of your speech, end of your talk. Now the most important thing here is give something that is through your experience in life. And you'll notice that everything will become very easy. It's hard only when you try to talk on something that of course is not your line or not your experience. But if it is your experience, it's so easy because you just let yourself out. That's why I don't say let your head down because it will reflect on you. And you're not anything there. Kaya nga before, there was this movie, Top Gun. I always say before, be a top gun like me. Top is almost gone. And that is one secret. So if you want to be a humorous person, or to give humor, the first thing that you must be able to do is if you can poke fun at yourself. Because not all people can poke fun at themselves. But if you can poke fun at yourself, that is a sign of maturity as a person. So, we now go to that part in impromptu speaking. We talk without any preparation. Just, you can be humorous about it. No? You can talk about your experience. You can talk about your experience in college days. No? Like for instance, during my college days, I had this experience. I am the type who collects and selects. Sometimes I have a girlfriend, all three at the same time. You know why? Because there was this experience of mine, and I still had one girlfriend before. Ang ganda niya, she was so beautiful. But she was trying to make it so hard for me. Sometimes when I go to her house, she tells her maid, I tell him I'm not here. I said, sorry. Oh, something like that. So I cannot concentrate on my studies, I cannot eat well. But that effect pala, especially if you're a Pisces born, you're a March born. So I said to myself, oh, so you want to play it that way, huh? You want to play a game. Okay, blah. So I got another girl. So when I go to her and she tells me that she's not there, okay, I go to the next. So I cured myself actually. But it was not my intention really to have two or three. Isa lang sana. But then she's trying to make it and I'm having a hard time. So I put a solution to myself. I don't know how you will do that, but that's all. So it happened, it boils out to our choice of a partner. Choice of a partner. Now, what is your thought of a choice of a partner? One who likes giving orders, or one who's good in following orders? How about it from John? Your choice of the partner?
Alright. On the way, guys. On the way. On the way.
Okay.
Not a car, ah.
So compare to car.
I'm back here again.
Hi.
So, what's the question again?
As a choice of a partner, what would you choose? One who's good in giving orders, or one who's good in following orders?
Well, based on my past relationship, you know, that's why I chose following orders, because,
She was good at it.
yeah, you know, it's the other way around, like, one snap lang, I'm there. Because, you know, she was my first girlfriend. So, you know, I really don't know all about, like, I don't know relationship, how to handle a relationship. All I know is, like, yeah, I love her. So, I just want to make her happy. So,
Virgin relationship?
First time, eh?
yeah. So, you know, it came to a point that, you know, it's like, I'm like a dog. You know, it's parang, you know,
So you like that?
Rottweiler pa rin?
kasi, you know,
Wala namang pattern na sinusunod.
when I talk to my friends, like,
Just say
you
something.
know, parang,
2 minutes.
they're like telling stories na, pare,
Hindi naman tayo
handle go.
Tingnan natin.
And just laughing at them like, oh my god, oh, you're under. Ako, sabi na, if I have a girlfriend, I'm the boss. So, yeah. So, when I had a girlfriend, yun yung mindset ko na, I'm the boss. So, pero, I'm the boss on following orders. You know? To the point na talagang I need to wake up early to go to her place so that she could take a bath and get ready, and I'm gonna drive her to the nearest FX, wait for her to ride the UV. And then after that, if she umalis na yung, uwi na ako sa bahay, tutulog ulit ako.
She needs a father.
Ha? Yeah. So, hindi. Sabi ko nga I'm the boyfriend / PA, personal assistant. So, you know, kasi it's really my first time, so sabi ko it's important, it's happy, I'm happy. Pero, you know, parang in a relationship, my dad told me and my friends, like, it's like two-way.
Yeah, same extent.
It's like a two-way road. Give and take. But what happened to us is like give and give. She just, so, you know, and dapat in relationship, like, you must be good in following orders, and yung isa ulit, Giving orders.
Girls, listen. Give them.
Close your eyes.
Tagbay tayo.
May hugot ka rin, ha?
So,
No, we were trained.
Wala kasi si Tots ako pumalit eh.
so yeah, that's why we broke up, you know, kasi buti na lang na. Pero,
Matanggal na ng helmet.
hindi, ako na nakapag-iwalay. Parang syempre, di ba, parang, hindi, kasi as a guy, di ba, parang,
Training.
meron kang pride.
At least
Kung kunwari nalaman ng mga friends mo, like,
Pero siyempre,
she broke up with you,
pwede mo na.
you're big. Pero if you broke up with her,
Training.
like, parang, wala na.
Oh! Girls don't believe on that, ha? That's the personality of John only.
Hindi kasi it's like, of course, we're like, guys, you know, parang syempre nasa mindset natin is like that. So, pero, you know, the thankful part there is like, for like, a month or like past month, I felt it really masarap magkaroon ng girlfriend.
Oh.
Pero you must choose to, and sometimes, you know, just have to wag ka masyado magbigay masyado.
Switch number.
Tapos na.
You will notice Carla, Marty over there. This is the best place of Toastmasters Club. We could unwind. We just tell something about our life, about our girlfriend before, and have fun. And the case of John reminds me of a lot of things. Like for instance, we were talking about being macho. Yeah, I say, I'm the tiger at home. My wife is the trainer. And before, you know, before marriage, whenever I hold a lady's hand, when I hold a lady's hand, it was an act of love. Now, whenever I hold her hand, it's an act of self-defense. So that's what life is all about, and we are talking about relationship. I say that, to me, the most exciting part of a relationship is the first year. Would you agree to that? That the most exciting part of a relationship is the first year? Would you like to share, Marty?
Walang forever! Walang forever! May na ako! Sasakit ko ako!
Ito ba? Ito.
Okay, listen. Hi guys.
Wow. Hi everyone. I'm Marty with Guian.
Hi Marty. Hi Marty.
And what you're looking at right now is a prime example of baptism by fire.
Yeah.
So this is how it feels like. Anyway, so I heard that the topic was about whether or not we prefer to have someone giving orders to us in a relationship, or perhaps to be the one in charge of a relationship. Well, for me, now that I think about my past relationships, I have had
Plenty of them.
one. My ex-girlfriend. What I've seen to be one of our relationship's weaknesses is really more of not giving way with each other's weaknesses and strengths. What I've observed with human beings is that we have a set of skills that we are strong at, and we have a set of skills that we are, just arguably really bad at. Like in my case, it's math and doing the dishes, which it may not come in that order. But the point is, when I met her, we started very good. We were very understanding of each other's weaknesses. When we were starting, we were very clear that, honey, I'm very sad because I cannot do all of these dishes. Could you do it for me? That would be how I would perceive and discuss with her my weaknesses. In the meantime, if she would say that something like perhaps, hey hon, can you help us do something on our skit? I would probably give her some of my time. And it was a beautiful thing that we were able to acknowledge each of our weaknesses and strengths. I believe that in my past relationship, although it was a brief one, what I've learned is that as much as possible, you do not always have to be the one to take or give orders. It should always depend on your strengths and your weaknesses. If you're weak at, for example, writing, and your partner is good at it, you could try to take orders from her because she's the subject matter expert for that, for example. Or if, for example, in my case, like you suck in math and statistics and calculus, algebra, maybe you could ask her for help. Or you know what, just give her the homework and do something else instead. Because you have no future in that. And that's a good thing also. So I believe that there has to be something like a middle ground. That as much as possible, talk with your partner, communicate very clearly, see what your strengths are, see what her weaknesses are, try to match it, and then discuss where you can take orders and where you can give orders. So that's
Alright.
Speech number 1 na yun para. Marty, welcome to. Bigyan na ng form yan.
Bigyan ng form! Bigyan ng form!
Bigyan ng jacket.
Si Jan nababayad.
Imagine jacket na ba yan?
Imagine jacket. So, Marty talked about a relationship, his strategy. I also had a strategy before. I asked my wife, now that we are married,
champion.
it's just like any association. Would you like to be the president or vice president? And she said, oh honey, you be the president and vice president. I'll just be the treasurer. Mas matindi pala yun. Because in the Filipino setting, he who holds the purse holds the power in the family. But then, that's only early in life. But in each one of us wants to be the power behind it. But as we go on in life, you'll tend to accommodate. Let her be. So that's how I survived my marriage. I'll give you one secret. That to me, no problem is so difficult to me, Carla. You know why?
Why?
How I do it? Just pull out my wallet. I pull out her, what's that? I pull out her picture and say, if I can, here's your picture. If I can survive you, I can survive any problem that brought to me. So that's how, because we will notice in partners in life. It is one observation that I think. Usually, we are opposite with our partners. Because sabi nga, kung ano yung kulang mo, nasa kanya. Ano yung kulang niya, nasa iyo. So we complement each other. So, don't try to look why your partner is not like you. Or she'll be the opposite. Because what you lack, it is in her. So, if we can accept that fact in life, then our life will be less stressful in life. But here is one secret. I bring her picture with me. If I am confronted with a difficult problem, I just pull out the picture. And I say, if I can survive you, I can survive any problem. So, that's how nice we are here in Toastmasters. It's like a marketplace of ideas. You could just imagine how many ideas do we take home every night of our meeting. So, would you like to share also a talk here in front?
Yes!
Yes! All the way!
Talk about that relationship also. Because I'm sure
Your experience
Yeah.
na.
You like to give or following
Any advice to our young ladies or single gentlemen? What advice would you give them?
Just to back up Marty's speech before.
Oh, in front.
Sometimes for the first time. Hi, good evening everyone.
Good evening.
So just to back him up, it's like sometimes it's a collection of the past experience and you'll know when to give and follow orders. Sometimes in order for you to give orders, sometimes you have to follow first or you have to follow first, then you can give orders. And imagine how is your partner's mood, because you can just give and take nothing in return, because you'll get tired of it and just walk out on his life or walk away. And you just think that I waste so much time with these people and just you felt like you did nothing and it's your loss. Because from that you will feel like you're not a better person. So sometimes we just have to appreciate and timing. Appreciate and timing. That makes the whole world round. That's it, thank you.
It's square.
Ibabalitin natin kay Sir Erwin yan.
You know, talking of appreciate and timing, I will share to you one of my strategy while I am surviving my marriage.
Not that picture.
Not that picture. It is 4 words which I practice at home. Less talk, less mistake. Try to think of it.
Smile na lang.
That's why whenever I talk at home, I think first what I tell. Of course, example, I came from a Toastmasters meeting na nag-beso-beso. I don't tell her at home, ang ganda ng mga ladies do, para gano'n, di ba? More. Di ba? So, less talk, less mistake. Think first what you're going to tell your partner. Di ba? Would you agree to that kind of thinking?
Oh, Carlo!
Less talk, less mistake.
On the way, guys! On the way! On the way!
Carla, would you agree to that thinking that we think first before we talk? Especially at home? Yeah? Okay, could you share?
Example. For example.
Baka naman sila for the first time.
I always believe knowing it. So, I think based on my experience, especially in our business and our daily life, we should speak. We should think first before we act and before we speak. And the last word is to speak only good things that you will know that can affect others to become good. Sige na, Born.
Hindi kinabahan, no?
So you can see how we are here in Toastmasters, you know. Very nice place to unwind, Martin, diba? And to unwind, to grow, to have fun every Monday evening. And for what cost, very minimal cost on the Toastmasters. That we become a member of an international organization. We
But
just
if
pay
you call that-
1,800 for 6 months, from April to September, October to March. And we receive beautiful materials from the States on public speaking. And we receive every month a nice magazine that would sort of inform us of what are happening internationally. So, here we were talking about strengths and weaknesses. Now, in Toastmasters, what is something unique in our club is, unlike other clubs wherein we are given the opportunity to speak, like in Rotary or Lion, but they don't get that opportunity to receive an evaluation. Here in Toastmasters, we have that opportunity by way of our general evaluation session, wherein we have a panel of speakers, evaluators, who will tell us how we fared in our speeches, what were our strengths and our weaknesses, as well as we receive suggestions for improvement. Now, this particular portion will be led by the general evaluator. We are very fortunate tonight. We have a general evaluator, first and foremost. To me, he's a bachelor. His grandfather was a member of our club, and he passed away at the age of 97. And you know his secret, well, up to the time of his death, he was still a member of our club. Sabi niya, you know, Freddy, each time I attend a Toastmasters meeting, I have to have my hair cut, I have to have my suit clean, I have to practice my jokes, I have to lower my thinking to your level. So that's why he becomes so young. And you know, I told you that his grandfather, Attorney Sen Reyes, gave me 2 words to live by. And these 2 words, why he is so famous, why he is so rich, 2 words. He said, be generous. And you are not generous only if you have money. You can be generous with your time, you could be generous with your effort, and it will follow. And he is the first Toastmaster from Metro Manila who had his induction in a boat in Manila Bay. Na binayaran niya lahat yun. All expenses paid. That was his grandfather. And our own Mike, our immediate past president, who is following in that footstep.
Wala ka mag-anak si Mike.
Sana mag-grant ka rin.
He's an accomplished businessman. He owns the printing press. Sideline niya, he is into photography, wherein he photographed a lot of beautiful women here in this world. And is very much active in church. He's our immediate past president, a speech champion himself. Let's give a big round of applause to advanced communicator, Silver, Mike Reyes.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Freddy. Wow. Actually, I always enjoy listening to your, especially when you're given a part of the Toastmaster painting. Not only because you're very good in transitions. That's what I like about your style. You have a unique way of transitioning from one part to another, and not to mention the life's lessons that you always give us. Something new every evening, right? So, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
I'm your general for this evening.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, a general must have his officers, right? This is what differentiates Toastmasters meeting from other meetings. Here we evaluate other. We have this evaluation portion wherein we're able to hear what's our cons, what's our pros, what are the points for improvement in our speeches. Not only do we hear, not only do we learn how to speak in front, but we also learn, as Toastmaster Fred always says, how to be tactful in giving evaluations. We had the prepared speech portion for this evening, and we also had the impromptu speech portion. As you have noticed, the prepared speech part practices our public speaking skills in a sense that we are given time to prepare. There are times when we are given time to prepare a speech outside the Toastmasters world in our day-to-day activities. For example, in church or in the office, when we're supposed to give a speech and then we're given time. This is good practice, this portion. Then also, my favorite, the impromptu speaking portion. That's for me more useful than the prepared speech. Because why? Every day in our lives we get to meet people in the store, in business, for example, in blind dates. For example, who goes on blind dates here? Who goes on blind dates? During those life-threatening situations, we have to know what we have. We have to know what we're saying. We have to know we have to know the context of the situation. We have to be smart we have to put ourselves in the other person's shoes, and we have to know what they want to do. So that's why we practice. We get to practice that here in the Toastmasters Club, especially in that portion, the impromptu speaking portion. Most schools and universities and other institutions do not offer this type of training that we have here. If you're familiar with speech power, that's another group. It's actually basically speech power is. I have to cut the recording later because of it. But as I've heard from reputable sources, they are run by Toastmasters too.
Really? I paid for that.
So
You paid twice.
yes, here we get to, for example, especially in the Metro Manila Toastmasters Club, we get to meet 4 times a month. So imagine that. If it's 5 or 10,000 session there, here it's 300 pesos a month. So right? So back to the
Patayin na tayo ng speech power. Parang makabawi.
My job as the general evaluator is to evaluate the evaluators. Evaluate the evaluators. But that does not stop me from evaluating. I have the microphone here, so I have the control. Okay. But the general. Okay, so sige. So we had the impromptu portion and the prepared speech portion. We had a couple of speeches for this evening. One is speech number 5, body languages. Body language. And a special prepared speech, an advanced speech by the way, from Toastmasters. So, to help me evaluate our speakers for this evening, I'd like to call on the first evaluator for this evening. She will evaluate Toastmaster Tinsley, who gave us speech number 5, Carpe Diem. Is that right, Tinsley? Is that correctly pronounced? So, Carpe Diem, that's the speech number 5. So, to give us an evaluation of Toastmaster Tinsley's speech, let's all welcome Toastmaster Glenn.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mike. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, woohoo! This is my first time to evaluate, so please bear with me. Well, first and foremost, Tin!
Yes.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Moving to speak six next week, yes?
I hope so.
But anyway, I learned a lot from Team Speak tonight. And, well, I'm not really sure about the pronunciation because it could be carpe diem, but for carpe diem, but what's more important is the meaning is seize the day. Right? So, aside from what I learned from the word carpe diem, I also learned, what was that again, the measure of the day? One day,
24 hours.
yes, and like me, my brain cells also died midway, but then that's good to know because I just had an idea what a day should be like. And because of your speech, I realized that what you said about time, it's true. It goes by so fast, you can't even measure it with what you were saying a while ago. And also, since it goes by so fast, you can only remember the milestones. And you remember this because it triggers something in you, both in your mind and in your heart, right? So, when you remember these moments or milestones, they have a very big effect, like you said in your speech. So much so that you remember special moments or traumatic ones, like your first kiss, tama ba?
Oh, you know that. I think you know that.
I think that will be for another speech.
But that's
What I like also about your speech is your analogy of your room and your heart. You said that when moments trigger your emotions, sometimes you just can't let it go. Sometimes you're so bitter that you say, walang forever. Walang And like she said, you've got to let go. The analogy of making you to have more room for the new girlfriend.
Wait for
For the new experiences. Yes, there's forever also. Now, I really like that. And what I like more in your speech is at that point, you started gesturing. You did what was required for your speech. Body language, eye contact. You can see that you did internalize your speech. And I like it. So, it's all natural. I look forward to seeing more of that from you in your next speech. And I also look forward to hearing not just speeches from you, but personal stories, even traumatic ones.
good.
And also, I want to thank you because your message for this speech, seize the day, the last one, it's very timely. I will keep it in mind. Because when I arrived here, I was very tired. And I was just saying, yes, I will just go through this day, just finish it. But then again, I met you guys again. You too. Hi, new friends. And I am energized. And I am reminded that I do not need the Basque sauce to feel good about myself and just be here. I am reminded that I am lucky to be in this club because I know that I am with a supporting group. And my day has not been in vain because the end is such a wonderful experience. Like her closing, it's also a very good closing. So I see you in your next speech. Congratulations again.
Thank you. In your USB next week.
Remember, she likes your closing.
I will keep that in mind.
She likes your closing.
So, thank you, Toastmaster Glenda, for that wonderful speech. I really, the one thing I like about your evaluation of Tinsley is first of all, you have the advantage of knowing your
Yes.
advantage. You know Tinsley from far back, from way back. And that gives you the advantage of providing customized evaluation for kids. I like it that you were able to notice that she was able to give gestures, and I also like to point out that Toastmaster Tinsley was quite. First of all, I like Toastmaster Tinsley's diction. It's very good. It's if I could say stateside and the thing. I like how Toastmaster Tinsley speaks in front, and yes, I also noticed that she was able to provide facial expressions throughout the length of the speech.
You sound.
I like also Toastmaster Glenda's evaluation.
The American.
Toastmaster Glenda, you were able to give an evaluation which is like a speech. By the way, when giving an evaluation in front, that's the way you do it, fellow Toastmasters. When you give an evaluation, it's not, for example, even if it's just the counter or the timer, it should be a speech by itself. There should be a body, middle, and a conclusion. And Toastmaster Glenda was able to do all that. You were able to, first of all, give an arresting opening. You were able to mimic that popular line in TV I always hear, congratulations. So, congratulations. Pardon me if I could not mimic it properly. So, then you were able to mix here and there some humor in your evaluation. You were very animated when giving your evaluation, which is good because it keeps us, the audience, up on their toes. Because you were the whole package, the expressions, body language. So it's really timely. The speech is about body language, and then the evaluator also was giving us a clinic about body language. So let us all give both Toastmaster Kingsley and Toastmaster Glenda a big round. We're now moving, after Toastmaster Kingsley's speech, which is the fifth speech, we have a special speech from Toastmaster Tonel. By the way, for the benefit of our guests, when you enter the Toastmasters Club, first you will be immediately given title. And what's the title? TM. TM means Toastmaster. It's like MD. It's like PhD. TM. Yeah, TM. The moment you sign up, you'll be given a TM. And you'll be given, first of all, 10 speeches. 10 speeches, each of which will tackle a different objective. Upon completion of these 10 speeches, you will be upgraded to the next spin level, which is CC, which is competent communicator. And it goes on and on. The top level or the high spin level you can attain in the Toastmasters Club is the DTM, or the Distinguished Toastmaster, which would mean you had already given around 40 speeches, and you would have also accomplished or taken role many requirements. For example, one of them is starting your own club. So yeah, I read it somewhere. It's true. It's when you start your own club, you're one step closer to getting that DTM. So what's good about the Toastmasters Club, my fellow guests, is that not only will you be able to practice public speaking in front, you'll also be given the chance to practice leadership skills. Because here, tonight, I may be the general, but next meeting, I may be the private. So it goes around. What goes around comes around. Each of us will be given, every meeting, by the way, has their own roles. For example, Toastmaster Freddy, he was the Toastmaster of the evening, or the MC for this evening. Then I'm the evaluator. Then Toastmaster Glenda is the evaluator of a specific speaker. So who knows who Freddy will call next week? So let us move ahead with the next evaluator. He will be evaluating Toastmaster Tonet's speech, which is the 15th speech in a series, storytelling. And to do that, I'd like to let us all give a round of applause to his evaluator, Toastmaster Virgito Tanis.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters.
Good evening.
Good evening, Tanet.
Good evening.
The ability to tell stories is a gift. It's a gift to be able to share ideas, to help people remember the message that you're trying to send through the use of stories, narration, description, in a very creative way, in a way that people can absorb better, in a way that people can share with others, so that other people can also share the ideas or the message you're trying to share to them. Tonette, I'm honored that I'm evaluating you tonight, and I appreciate your story. I appreciate that you came up here with confidence, with a little touch of humor at times. I enjoy that you had a way of changing your tone of voice at certain portions of your speech, and also the ability to move your hands, your body as you were talking and sharing with us your story. One thing that I would like to see you do better in the future is that to be able to continue to verbally communicate the story much more smoothly. At times you had to stop and to think or to change the words around a bit during the actual speech, which in a way deteriorates the message, lessens the credibility. But when you are able to continuously, smoothly share the message, share the story with us, gains credibility, becomes easier and better to understand. The one thing I like the most about your speech is, of course, the message. There is a storm, you cannot stop it, but you can adjust your sail. You did share that message with the use of the story, which I am very grateful for. I'm experiencing a lot of personal and professional challenges right now, and I go home tonight, with your story of hope and inspiration, and I'm very grateful and honored that I am here. I was able to listen to you, and I look forward to your next speech. Good evening.
Wow. Toastmaster Virgin.
Very good, Virgin.
You see, you just witnessed, my friend, fellow Toastmasters, a really heartfelt and awesome evaluation from Toastmaster Virgin. By the way, that's what I like about Toastmaster Virgil's evaluations. He always gives. First of all, he is very observant of the speeches he evaluates. He takes note of even the small nuances like the body gestures, facial expressions, and the language used. Even the tone of voice that the speaker uses. Tonight, Toastmaster Virgil was able to mention all of these things, and then he was able to give us a proper evaluation of Toastmaster Tonette by first giving us what he liked about Toastmaster Tonette's speech. By the way, there are many methods of many styles of evaluating a speech. Toastmaster Virgie, I believe he used the sandwich method for this evening. First of all, what's the sandwich method? Well, what is a sandwich? A sandwich is there are three layers, right? There's the bread, then there's the whatever is the filling, and then there's the lower end. So in a sense, that's the sandwich method for evaluation. First of all, you give what you like, and then after that, you give us what is some points for improvement, and then you follow it up with another commendation. And then Toastmaster Virtue was able to give us, of course, the the technical stuff, the body gestures, the facial expressions of Toastmaster Virtue. Then he went on to the meat of the speech of Toastmaster Virtue. I like how Toastmaster Virtue was able to internalize everything that Toastmaster Tonette gave us for tonight, and then was able to give his, what do you call this? He was able to share his personal experiences, personal reflections on Toastmaster Tonette's speech immediately. He was able to, Toastmaster Virtue was also able to notice and point out that Toastmaster Tonette was quite good in transitioning in his speech. He was able to move from one point to another smoothly. And then I like also how Toastmaster Virtue ends by saying how it affected him personally. By the way, that's one of the secrets of evaluation. If you're able to connect to the speaker you're evaluating on a personal level by telling him or her how much it has affected you, how much it has changed your viewpoints, then I think that's mission accomplished. The speaker has achieved his objective by connecting personally or on a personal level to the evaluator, and then the evaluator in turn will be able to give personal experiences with the evaluator. So let us all give Toastmaster Tonette and Toastmaster Virgin for their speech, and then Toastmaster Virgin. So, like Toastmaster Freddy said, tonight is a night of firsts. Their first time guests, I believe, here. And it's also the first time, I think, that all of the speakers for the table topics portion are guests. Right?
Oh.
Is that right?
John.
I'm just checking it.
Just checking.
I'm using Toastmaster plus line. Toastmaster plus for me. So, but it's a first because the majority of the speakers for tonight are yes. And I commend everybody, all those people who came up and accepted the challenge to speak in front, because it's no easy task to speak here, especially if you're given a topic.
You're a hero tonight.
You have a few seconds to think about.
Acknowledge your hero.
So we have the table topics portion. What is the table topics again? The table topics allows us to practice our impromptu speaking skills. What do we say when we are asked a question on the spot? For example, in a Miss Universe pageant, for example, and you are a contestant, for example. I'm not speaking to the guys here, okay? But in a sense, yes. If for example, if you're in the Mr. Universe, for example, pageant, you're asked a question, then what will you say, right? Wouldn't it help if you had many hours of experience doing that? And that's what we're always trying to achieve here in the Toastmasters Club, whenever we are here in the table topics portion. And for this evening, we had four speakers for this evening. And then, by the way, Toastmaster Freddy, we have an evaluator for the table topics portion.
Any general observation?
Oh, okay. Sige. So right now, I'm practicing that impromptu evaluation.
You've just made that single most important step towards speaking excellence.
Yeah.
We will continue on that journey and allow us to help you, guide you towards success, which is just around the corner.
Thank you.
So, and while you were talking about being tactful earlier, I'm reminded of something about tact that, I don't call my wife, I don't say that she's fat. You know what I say? I say she's a one. Of maternity dress. So that's how we become tactful, You don't make an enemy, we make a point. so it was a very interesting evening tonight. And so I'd like to turn back our control the proceedings to our president. Some guest comments.
Okay, so I'd like to congratulate everyone for participating for tonight, for making this meeting a successful one. And before I say my closing remarks, of course, we would like to hear from our guests. We'd like to hear some feedbacks and comments regarding how do you find our meeting, how do you feel during the time that you were here, that you were participating, did you enjoy it, do you look forward to joining our club?
Experience.
Okay. I'd like to call on Josette.
Experience. You can speak Tagalog.
Yeah.
Filipino.
Sure. Yung mga isa.
Ano nagustuhan mo? What did you like?
First of all, I'm